What's going on, guys? This your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. Look like Browns reporter Mary Kay is back speaking about SHEDEUR. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Cleveland. Let's get it. Let's go. Well, man, look like Mary Kay has made it her business to speak about SHEDEUR Sanders yet again, bro. This time it's on record, and I'm here to tell you she's letting it be known she's pretty much the only reporter that's up in Cleveland right now getting to the business, and that's definitely getting to the action of minicamp, bro. She's talking stuff and she's standing on business. I'm done talking. I ain't finna bore you. Roll the footage.
I'm very humbled by this. And it had me in those next couple of days reflecting back on all of these years. And I can't believe that it's been so long and the calendar just keeps flipping and flipping and flipping. But as you know, once you get into these Browns seasons, I mean, it just flies by. And all of a sudden, before you know it, here you are, well into the 30s of covering this football team. And so it's just been a tremendous honor. I've had so many cool things happen since I found out the news, including, this was so cool, I received the nicest handwritten note from Mike Tomlin sent to my home.
Really?
I mean, it was just so nice of him. Yes, so nice of him. And that really meant a lot to me. And that was just one of very many cool things that have happened.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. And just yeah, I can't imagine. You're right though. And it's funny, like I tell folks who aren't in this business like we are, that a football season, you wake up and it's training camp, and then by the time you open your eyes again and get a breath, it's February. And you're at the combine and you're like, what just happened? Where did the year go? Because there is a perpetual kind of treadmill of it, isn't it? Where the days stack and the years stack, and all of a sudden, here we are, another season. Speaking of that, we're at another mini camp.
Well, I went straight from the season to wrapping that up with the press conferences and whatnot to heading off to the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. And then I went to the Super Bowl right after that. Mm-hmm. And then you get home from that, and I went to there's probably something in there that I'm forgetting. I went to the NFL owners meetings in Florida. Then I went straight out to SHEDEUR's Colorado showcase and the combine, I mean, it was just everything, one thing right after another. Then you move into free agency, and then you move into the draft. And all of a sudden, here we are. It was, you wake up and it's OTAs, and I can't even believe it. We really have about, I would say, maybe 3 weeks or so.
That's it.
Where we are not like 100% on all the time.
You nailed it. I'm like, it's never over. It's constant. There is no off. Well, we have this mini camp. We got our guys here today, and tomorrow we'll be out on the field. How do you? I mean, we've never had a 4-person quarterback competition before, so this is new for all of us a little bit. How do you watch practice in terms of the quarterbacks? What are you looking for?
Well, I'll tell you, it's interesting that you ask that, because with 4 quarterbacks and 2 different fields of passing drills that are going on, the 2 spotting that's happening in some of the drills, not all the drills, but the modified 7-on-7s and different things like that, you really do have to divide your attention. And what I really need is a golf cart to get around out there. So now that I've made the Hall of Fame, they should have like a little golf cart for me, and I can just, ride around or have somebody drive me around.
I'll see what I can do about that. We'll talk to Frayne to see if we can get you one. I think that's appropriate.
Yeah. Let's do that. But, you kind of have to run around and make sure that you're seeing everything that you see. And invariably, I'm running over to get to the first set of 11-on-11s. And by then, Joe Flacco has already completed his first long pass. So it is hard to get to see everything that you want to see. And you have to miss some things, because unless you stand in between the fields, which it's possible to do that you can stand on the one end and sort of see both fields pretty well. You can try to do that, but you're still having to look either over there or over there. And I don't get to see every single pass or play the way that I would want to, but we're picking up plenty.
Yeah.
We've only seen 2 OTAs so far, but I feel like I have a pretty good handle on how this thing is going right now.
And what is the handle on how things are going right now from your perspective?
Well, I wrote about this in a column that hit this morning, and that is, if you're looking out there and you're seeing Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel look at times like it's not perfect and they're not completing as many passes, or it looks like they're almost throwing an interception. Those 2 guys are having so much heaped on their plate right now. They're the ones that are sort of being tasked with trying to figure out what's going to work in this new offense. So they're getting the brunt of the install right now. And that's in part because they need to get them up to speed as quickly as possible, but also because those 2 guys were kind of targeted early on as the 2 players that the Browns probably have out front right now in terms of winning this competition. And the reason why I say that is because they were acquired earlier in their respective acquisition cycles than the other 2, right? I mean, we know that Kenny Pickett was traded for a month before Joe Flacco was signed, and that Dylan came in the 3rd round, SHEDEUR in the 5th. So we know that those guys come in with a bit of an edge. It doesn't mean that the other 2 can't flip the script, but more is going on to the plate of Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel right now than, let's say, than SHEDEUR. And with Joe, he already knows so much of it, so they don't really have to do that with him as much. They have to get those other 2 guys ready.
Yeah, it's, Nathan and I have been pretty trying to be pretty transparent with the conversation, because I think one thing that's happening, and I'm sure you're seeing this in your readers or in your social interactions, like everybody wants to talk about SHEDEUR all of the time, and everything that you just said is exactly on point and exactly what's going on out here. And I feel like from the national perspective, especially, it's getting missed, and I think it's at times misleading the fan base about what's actually going on here. So I think it's really important that you wrote what you wrote, because that's an accurate description of what we've seen in OTAs, not just what's been open to the media, but what we've seen too.
Yes, exactly. And I just heard another set of SHEDEUR opinions even this morning. And it's just almost kind of funny to me that people from the outside, or the national experts, shall we say, seem to feel like they know exactly how this is going, and they're not here. We are boots on the ground. And so I think people need to be a little bit careful with who they're putting their faith in right now in terms of how this thing is playing out. Yes, SHEDEUR looks really, really good with what they're asking him to do. He looks really, really good. But as you probably saw the other day, he was at times on a separate field because he's learning different things. He's coming along other guys. Like I said, with Kenny and Dylan, they're throwing as much at them as humanly possible right now to see what sticks, to see what works. And they're not necessarily doing that with SHEDEUR right now. With SHEDEUR, he's on a bit of a different track. He's right now the 4th team quarterback. He's doing great with what he's being asked to do. Everybody's very, very happy with how he's coming along. Everybody's optimistic about what they're seeing with him, but it's just he's in a little bit of a different category as the 4th team quarterback, and maybe not necessarily someone that they are trying to get ready as fast as possible to start on opening day. Not saying that he can't, because he's being given a chance just like everyone else, but he's in a bit of a different category right now.
So beyond the quarterbacks, and obviously that will monopolize a great amount of all of our time over the next couple of days, what else are you curious to see here in the next couple of days?
Well, first of all, I want to see Myles Garrett. We all always want to see Myles Garrett, what he looks like, what he's doing, what he's up to, just because of who he is, and maybe even more so in this set of mandatory minicamp practices, because he's coming off of his big trade demand and his big new contract. And Jim Schwartz put it out there the other day that he expects Myles Garrett to have his best season ever. So the bar is set very, very high for Myles Garrett. So I'm very anxious to see what he's going to come in and do. Now, he doesn't necessarily need a ton of reps, but he does need some, and they need to get him in there for a number of reasons, including getting those offensive linemen ready and giving the quarterbacks a look for what it's like to go against a player of his caliber. So anxious to see how much he's doing, what he's doing, how he's feeling, how he's looking, and also hearing what he has to say. And then same thing kind of with David Njoku. David hasn't been there for OTA, so looking forward to seeing what he's going to be all about. He's coming off of a season in which he had a high ankle sprain.
That was Mary Kay speaking about SHEDEUR. I want to know you guys' thoughts down in the comments section right now. Keep them bells on, because you know what? I'm going to bring you the news. Until next time, man, shake the headers off. I'm out of here. Peace out.
You coming. You should have seen by now. Coming. Yeah, they talking about it. We coming. They doubting us. We coming. They saying. We coming. They think it's a game. We coming. I don't give a damn what they say. You best believe